Welcome to episode 5 of Elevate Water Polo on 216, proudly brought to you by SuperSport Schools and sponsored by Odin and Momentum. Great to be back with you. It's been an incredible week of water polo. We've had so much on the go, and we look forward to showcasing a lot of that. In this show, we're going to look at the key tournaments that happened this last week and tell you all of the facts and figures from those tournaments. We're also going to have Delane and Lawazi, who were on site at the St. Stithians Invitational Tournament and taking some great footage and speaking to great teams who've been contesting that tournament. We're also going to look forward to IPT. Remember, it's the 50th edition of this amazing tournament. We are now about 7 weeks out, and we're going to speak in this show to one of the more interesting teams who are attending that tournament, the Aussie Crocs, who are head coached by Simon Daly, a very well-known South African player from the East Rand of Johannesburg, who will be bringing the Aussie Crocs for the second year in a row to contest the Ubuntu Shield in the IPT Challenge. We're also going to look forward to what's coming this next week. We've got a couple of tournaments happening down in KZN, and as always, we're going to be collecting great footage from you that you send in when you clip from the SuperSport Schools app your best goal of the week or your best defensive play, a save or a block of the week that really impacted how your team play. Also, some interesting news. I tracked the Fairtree top water polo rankings for top water polo schools, which was very interesting. This was done before the tournaments of this weekend, important to note. So as of 14 October, we have in the ladies' side of the game, we have Rodine, St. Stithians and Herschel, who were the top 1, 2 and 3 of the ladies' side of thing. Also interesting to note the distribution of schools around the country. Gauteng was at the top of the list. They had 7 schools in the top 20. The Eastern Cape and Garden Route combined had 6 teams, which is really important to see and really good to see from the Eastern Cape and the Garden Route. KZN coming in with 4 schools in the top 20, and the Western Cape with 3 schools led by Herschel. So really interesting reading. On the men's side, we had top school was Bishops. This was before the tournament, and they went on to even strengthen that position even more. In second place in the Fairtree rankings was Hilton College, and third was St. Stithians from Gauteng as well. So the distribution amongst the boys, 6 schools in the Western Cape, so really dominated by the Western Cape schools. KZN also showing really strongly with 6 schools in the top 20, Gauteng with 5 schools, and the Eastern Cape with 3 schools. So really nice distribution of schools. Strength of water polo is all around the country and wonderful to see. We're also going to talk about this last weekend's Cape Town Invitational, where Marty's created some history on the ladies' side by winning their very first major tournament on the ladies' side. Huge congratulations to them. We spoke to Emma Thornton, and we're going to try and get some video clips of her onto the show. In second place was Warriors, and then really impressively, the Western Province Under-19 schools team was taking the bronze place on the podium. On the men's side, the Rondebosch Meerkats won the first tournament, first time they've ever won the Cape Town Invitational, which was really exciting. UCT were in second place after an amazing tournament, knocking out the very strong, the strongest club team of the last 20 years, the OJ Eagles, in the semi-final there. St. Stithians tournament, it was a massive event. We're going to do lots of great footage from that, but just to give you the highlights, St. Stithians ladies won the girls section in a tight final against St. Anne's. Herschel from the Western Cape finished in a bronze medal placing. On the boys' side, it was Bishops who strengthened their number 1 position as number 1 school in the country, winning the boys' side with their rivals from the southern suburb Sax playing in a closely contested final. And St. Stithians, the hosts were very pleased to win the bronze medal on the boys' side, and they beat Rondebosch in penalties in the 3rd and 4th medal match. In Redham, the Redham Inspire Cup, which was held in Redham, Bedford View, Danville came out on top. Second place was the St. Stithians second team, and in third it was a tie between DGC and DSG. So well done to those teams contesting the Inspire Cup at Redham House, Bedford View. Last but not least, we had a very exciting under-13 tournament in Cape Town. It was the Sax Junior Festival, which was tournament, which was closely contested, and an absolutely cracking final with Harry Corlett from Rondebosch scoring 4 goals in the final and Rondebosch winning 7 goals to 2. So an emphatic performance by the Rondebosch Juniors. Well done, especially to Harry Corlett. That's an exceptional performance. And great to see such polo at such a young age, under 13 level, so competitive, so alive and so well. There was an amazing teams from all over the country who contested that tournament, and great to see. And a big shout out to Sax Jr., Meg Martins and the team for putting an absolutely fantastic final together. So a lot to cover today. In with me in the next few minutes, we're going to have some guys from the men's side of the game, the UCT men's players, as well as the Rondebosch Meerkats are going to have their captain, John Swanepoel, with us. So we look forward to chatting to them shortly. So great to be back. We've got some fantastic water polo players in the audience here. I'm going to introduce them one by one, but really important for all the viewers out there to understand these guys are the benchmark of the game today. And for all you school kids, it's really important and really great to see these guys, what they've achieved since completing school, and really excited to have three great guys I know very well in the audience with you. I'm going to go to Sam Hansen first. Sam, a Bishop's boy. Sam, congrats on a great UCT campaign for the Cape Town Invitational. Can you take us back a little bit from Bishops into UCT? How's that journey been for you?
I think when I was in school, UCT was always the team that's the Bishop's first team would play in practice games. So we played guys like Jono in school. And then it was a bit of a no-brainer for me seeing the vibe of the UCT team to then go to UCT and start playing water polo with them. And I think it was a sort of a seamless transition into UCT. I was privileged enough to have great seniors at UCT, and then I just stuck it out, and 5 years later I'm still enjoying playing for UCT, captaining the side at the moment, which is a privilege. And we had a great Cape Town tournament. I think the final wasn't so great, but our performance to get there was unbelievable and probably the best I've seen from a UCT side in the last 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And a great final and a great campaign from start to finish, in fact. So tell us, in your leadership role, you're getting at UCT, you're getting guys from all around the country. How does that feel every year when you get new people, new faces in?
I think the guys coming in, a lot of them were leaders at their schools, whether it be in Joburg or Cape Town or Durban. So most of the guys are, it's not a hard job to lead them. They're all very competent. So it's almost just cooling their heads and keeping everyone ready for the game mentally. I think the job was really easy for me, especially with a guy like Karabo, who's captained the under-20 SA side and was on the leadership team for the Elevate under-19 team. So, and there's a couple other guys like Greg Price also in that leadership team, which did help me a lot. And then obviously I looked up to the senior guys like Jono, Dane, who I learned a lot from when I was a youngster at UCT. So it was very easy.
Amazing and well done. Karabo, King Edward's boy, tell us, how's your journey been as Sam introed there? You've had a busy year. So take us back to King Edward's and then take us back to 2025 and all the highlights.
I think from King Edward's, there's not really like a Bishop training with the ECT kind of vibe, but I think I was fortunate enough when I was in grade 9 to get invited to train with the first team. So I think from there, then it's kind of the exposure playing against like guys who would have been like Fridge, Josh Simon, probably guys like David McDonald as well. When I'm in grade 9 playing against these Oaks, it's helped to kind of make me like a tougher player, because now I'm in grade 9 and back then I was playing centre back as well. So you go up against like 100 kg centre forward, I'm still probably like 60 kgs and it's a battle. And then I think going into matric, after having that kind of experience at a younger age, you kind of go in there and my mindset is, okay, now it's my turn to kind of, cause some damage. So you go there with the mindset, I'm gonna lead the team, and just a hard mindset, so you don't let like negativity and that come into you. Which I think, if we go into the UCT aspect now, after the campaign at Cape Town Invitational, I think a lot of it was mentally that we were quite a mentally strong team. So no matter who the opposition was, guys went in with the attitude that we're going to go there and we're going to play polo. Doesn't matter who we're playing, we could be playing the best players in the world or not. We're going to go in there and we're going to play hard, we're going to play for each other. And I think that showed in our semi-final when we pulled a massive win, I think probably a big upset of the tournament, and came out on top. But from my perspective, I think coming into the ECT, it's a fantastic vibe. Like you go in there, everyone is so welcoming. Meeting some mates at the start of the year, I come in there, I'm thinking like, these guys have been playing polo, this is going to be daunting. And it's just such a welcoming environment where everyone is keen, no matter where you're from, all corners of the province, everyone's welcoming and they want you to succeed. I think that's really what we're building our team on right now. I think it's going to set us up for a great future.
Amazing. Great to hear. And tell us, wonderful venue at King Edward's. I mean, possibly one of my favorite pools in the country. Were you there before and after? Did you get to move in to the new pool?
Yeah, so I was at the primary school. So I was fortunate enough to train in the old pool, which still has my heart to this day. It was a fantastic pool. Like, as much as it may have been outdoor and that, the experience in that pool were crazy, because that's from the first water polo experience in grade 3, where you can barely throw the ball a meter, to eventually getting to matric, where it's a completely new pool. And it was a great experience being able to experience both, especially like just the new pool, modern architecture, and just all the new equipment as well. It just progresses. It helped us to progress as a school, actually. So I think, yeah, Cares has a bright future if we just keep heading that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And such a great history, King Edward's, the old Eds, the feeder club coming from that school, and just many legends of our game playing at King Edward's and in the old Eds setup as well. So shout out to all those old boys. On my right, last but not least for this segment is Jono Swanepoel. Jono, Rondebosch boy. Tell us a little bit about Bosch first, kind of having come through the Rondebosch ranks. Tell us about that journey for you, and then we can talk later about your time in the Rondebosch club.
Yeah, thanks. I was fortunate to have a really, as Sammy and Karaba mentioned, like a really good high school and even prep school experience on the water polo side of things. So I built a lot of strong friendships through Rondebosch, starting from grade 3, as Karabo said, at the prep school. And I got to work with incredible coaches from prep and high. That Bosch prep program is probably one of the best prep school programs in the country, just dominating all under 13 tournaments for the last 10 or so years. And then naturally a good feeding program into the high school, where I've just played with a lot of really strong players. And as Sam said, you become a leader through the leaders that you've played with. So all of my captains from grade 8 through matric, really special people. And then, we were fortunate to have a really strong grade 10, 11 and 12 year at Rondebosch. So, we played some great polo throughout all the tournaments. And as Sammy said, our Rondebosch year, we didn't have a UCT team to scrimmage against. So we scrimmaged against the Rondebosch Old Boys. And in those years, we're running it back now. 2016 to 2018 was like the rebirth of the club from a performance perspective. So, really cool to play with the older guys and build on that confidence of playing against older players, because that's so important to the school player.
Excellent. And congratulations on the Cape Town tournament win. That was a big one for you, I would imagine. Having been close for many finals previously. Tell us what it meant for you and the Rondebosch Meerkat teammates.
Yeah, it was special. As you said, we were in the last 2 finals. So Cape Town Invitational 2024. We went down to a really well-drilled Sax team. And then earlier this year, again, in the Gauteng Invitational final, went down to a really well-drilled Sax team yet again. So we were fortunate enough to get the upper hand on them in the semi-final this year. And then came up against a really strong UCT team in the final who had an awesome campaign. As Karabo said, upset of the tournament, most likely a really strong win against OJ Eagles. The final went our way. And to third final, to finally get a win meant a lot for the team and the coaching staff.
Excellent, certainly did. Thanks to all of you for coming just to share your story. You guys are role models for our sport, and just wanted to say keep going, and everyone's looking up to you, and thanks for leading the way. And it's been a privilege to have you on the show. So thanks very much, guys.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back from the break. I am joining you from St. Stithian Stairs Invitational Tournament right here in Johannesburg. I did ask the crew, how do I look? Because I do feel like a wet rat. It is rainy down here in Johannesburg, but it's been a super exciting weekend of water polo. I'm joined today by 3 of the tournament participants from St. Mary's Waverley down in Johannesburg and Pretoria Boys High. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves.
My name is Jenna Blau and I'm captain of the St. Mary's first team for 2026.
My name is Tyron Smith and I'm the number 8 in the Pretoria Boys High School team.
My name is Oliver Oberholzer and I'm just a player.
So I did say to Oliver that I commentated his game yesterday and I might have botched his surname, so I'll do my best not to do it today. But both these teams and these players out here have had a phenomenal weekend of water polo. So much growth, so much still left of the tournament. My Pearson boys play these boys on my left here, so I'm going to try and get some secrets from them for my game later. But I'm going to start with you, Jen. Just some questions around the weekend and where you see St. Mary's going. But what makes St. Mary's special for you, academically and sporting wise? I know you take on a lot, but what makes St. Mary's special for you?
So St. Mary's is 137 years old, so it's very deep rooted in its culture. What else to say?
That's great.
It's super supportive in both the sporting and academic aspects of the school.
Great values there because of how old they are.
Extremely.
Yes.
All the teachers, all the heads are always there to help you. With me always being gone for tournaments, when I get back, there's always a plan set in place for me to catch up.
Awesome.
And I'm always feeling supported at the school.
I think that's very important for athletes to feel that support from schools. And you guys over there, I know that the 2 of you were speaking about who's older, and we realized that St. Mary's Waverley is older than Pretoria Boys. But you are deputy head of school, right?
Yes,
deputy head boy. That's a huge accolade for you. And I mean, being a deputy head boy, and then also playing sport. Like, how do you manage with the stresses of school, and how can you help younger athletes in your team and the school?
I think a good example to answer your question is term 1 of this year. I wrote a biology test and I had a water polo tournament before. I had swimming and I had a lot going on.
Yes.
Wrote this biology test and I could say I'm an academic, but I got 60% and I was baffled by it.
Can't
and then
accept 60%.
I sat myself down and said, okay, I'm playing polo, I'm swimming, I'm doing academics, and I'm doing culture.
Yes.
So I got to find a solution here. Priorities, But I just sat myself down. I made a time schedule. At 6 o'clock, I'm doing this.
Yes.
At 7, I'm eating supper. Okay, at 7:30,
Awesome.
I'm going to study. And then probably at 4:30, earlier, I'm going to play polo. So I just make a schedule and I just make sure that what I'm doing, I'm always doing with 150%.
That's awesome. Well, at 13:40, let me help you with your schedule. You're playing a big game. just saying.
100%. I'm ready.
Don't give 100%.
Game that we're going to win.
Joking.
100%.
So, Oliver, I heard, a little while you guys were chatting here, that you are deputy cheerleader or head cheerleader, or, how do you bring in that gees and vibe that you have to have in cheerleading to your water polo team? How have you done that this weekend in the pool? You guys have had some great scores, eh? You guys took on St. Andrews earlier, and I think you ended the game 9-7. But at one point in that final chaka, you were 7-all. So how do you bring the same vibe you bring for your cheerleading? That surely does have to somehow correlate in the pool. How do you do that for your team?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, especially when you're losing a game here and there, a game that should have gone your way, maybe like our St. Andrews game, it's almost just to keep the boys positive.
Yes.
You just have to keep them positive and keep that belief in them. If they lose that belief, they're never really gonna believe they can win, as you say. So I'd really just try to keep them positive, encourage them. What's the word I'm looking for?
Motivated?
Motivate them, but say if they do something well, say it.
Yes.
Recognize reassure
it,
them
yes.
that, oh, that's a great shot, well done. It didn't go in, but it's a great shot. You got into the right position, that kind of thing. Also, keeping them positive and keeping them believing is kind of
Awesome.
the right thing.
Love that. Jen, so, a lot of what he spoke about is that positivity and reassurance, and you are one of the seniors in your team. Jenna, for you guys also, she's been on 2 Elevate NGC, which is Next Generation tournaments in Spain with us. So Jen was 16 last year, and she was one of the youngest in the team, and I coached the team, and then she came with us again this year. So you've learned so much in Spain and so much through the Elevate program. How do you instill what you've learned into, your St. Mary's team now? I think you mentioned you've got 6 under 15 girls, grade 9 girls in the Stayers. Seven. Sorry, yeah. Versus you guys who have 6 or 7 grade 11s. How do you bring what you've learned in the Elevate program and NGC into this team?
So obviously trainings before leading up to this tournament were very important for me. Just like keeping my team informed that it is a big jump from under 15 level. The games are faster, the girls are stronger. The girls were a little bit nervous going in, obviously a little bit younger. They haven't played at this level. And obviously Stayers is such a difficult tournament because the last game we played with our matrics was last week Saturday.
Okay.
So we really haven't had a lot of time with this new team. But I think teaching them like little skills and little tricks that I've learned in Spain has helped so much. Defensive tactics and offensive techniques have made such a difference against these teams, especially because in Spain it's a lot faster game and the girls are a lot more physical.
Yes.
So it's been so lovely to see all the girls like implement all the even just the tiniest things into the game.
Yes.
And it really gives them that little bit of confidence just to back themselves on the ball.
Awesome. So, it's been a lot of water polo. And we did ask Tyron Smith over here. Let me just say I'm saying Smith and not Smith because I was corrected earlier. But as I mentioned earlier, Tyron is the deputy head boy. But I asked him, are you captain of your team? Because fun fact, he is the son of John Smith, former Springbok captain. And I'm sure a lot of the stuff that you've learned, it might not be directly related to rugby, but that leadership quality, because you speak with so much confidence, and I mean, being deputy head boy is a lot of leadership. How do you bring that leadership? You might not necessarily be the captain right now, or but how do you bring those leadership qualities to your team? Like I said, you had a good game against St. Andrews, but you guys have had a phenomenal tournament overall. Narrowly losing to St. David's, making sure you guys stay in, committed, focused throughout those 4 chukkers. Like, what sort of guidance have you imparted, to your team? And what sort of guidance are you getting from your coaches? I'd love to hear about that.
I think it works onto what Ollie said about the positivity. I mean, the best thing you can do is keep someone positive.
Yes.
Because the moment you keep someone positive, they're going to work extremely hard to get what they want.
Yes.
And that's the good thing with our team, is that we're learning and we're learning and we're learning. Mm-hmm. But the Oaks before a game, I mean, we sit down with them, we talk. I mean, sometimes we go in a circle and we say an affirmation about, for example, what we did before St. Andrews. And that leadership not necessarily comes from one person, but it's from everyone.
Yes.
And that's where the leadership qualities are shown, not just from one person, but from everyone in the team. Everyone has their role, and everyone's playing their role. And through that, we're all uplifting the leadership quality.
Yes.
And it's beautiful to see that in the team. I mean, if people score a goal and they lift each other up, I mean, that's leadership qualities.
Yes.
You're helping people grow. You're explaining people what they're doing right. And through that, it's just empowering, and other people get empowered by that. I mean, if you're having a good game, might be the next game we have, let's say it's goal after goal after goal. You don't know what could happen. And it's going well. I mean, people are going to be like, okay, let's do this. Leadership, come, Oaks, let's get together. I mean, Ollie, do you want a funny story?
I'd love a funny story, especially if it's water polo related.
It goes in with his cheerleading.
Okay.
Before every Sax game, we had Sax about a week ago. Ollie is probably the voice of our team. He screams and shouts, and he is such a lekker Oak to be around. Before a game, we'd warm up by the cricket field. This guy would start by what would you call it? The stands. He'd run around the whole field, screaming, trying to get everyone encouraged for the game. He's like, get hype, and then he'd run all the way around. So it's just things like that.
Yes, tiny things.
It's tiny things like that matter. And we all look at this Oaks energy. We must feed off of this energy, and then everyone will have the energy.
Ollie, while we're on you, so I heard earlier that the Pretoria boys won this tournament, St. Stithian Stayers, in 2010, am I correct?
Yeah.
And then the following year won the Sax tournament in 2011. What are your hopes for your team, knowing your history, knowing what can be done? What do you hope for your team, boy?
So as I say, in 2010, Pretoria boys, we won the Stayers tournament, and our current coach actually, Ferdy Lowe, was a part of that team.
Oh,
who did the
awesome.
sweep of stayers, cares, and sacks.
Brilliant.
So we've been building for the last year, and we've been really coming together nicely as a team, with some juniors coming in, most of us being senior, and our polo has progressed so much over the last year, even the last sort of 6 weeks with the preseason, the polo season starting now. It's progressed so far that I think we can really give a couple of the big polo schools like a Bishops or a Rondebosch a real run for their money.
Is that a challenge there?
That is a challenge. To Matt Finn watching, we're coming for you.
You heard it, yeah, you heard it.
But yeah, I think our polo's really come a long way. Our under 14 team actually right now is in the semi-finals at the St
Fantastic.
David's in under tournament. So
Okay.
so even though the juniors are coming along, we actually have a junior program installed at the school because in Pretoria, polo only starts in grade 8.
Yes.
So it's very hard for us to catch up. But now we have it's a Clydesdale club and it's a Pretoria Junior Club.
That's
So they're really developing water polo in Pretoria, which I think is very good.
That's amazing. And shout out to the Oaks down in Pretoria for doing that, developing water polo, starting young, these clubs coming in. It's a huge, it's like you said, it's helped your water polo.
Yeah.
So, you know, well done to them and a huge shout out to them. They must definitely keep going. Jen, you've been a little bit quiet this side, I'm sorry. But fun fact is that Jenna Blau, person on the right here, his dad, Pete Blau, actually used to coach water polo and rugby at Pretoria Boys. That is phenomenal. So, I mean,
Good man.
we didn't plan this. I promise you to the viewers out there, we didn't plan it. But Pete is a phenomenal man, lover of water polo, hugely passionate. Jen, you know, how do you, I think last year you actually coached with St. Mary's team, hey? And you guys ended?
We ended 8th.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. So a
Yeah.
bunch of dads coaching
Yeah.
on the side.
3
there.
dads on the bench, and
Yes.
we made the quarterfinal. It was a big tournament for us.
That's phenomenal. So what, you know, having your dad in the sporting background and in water polo, what lessons has he taught you and what do you carry with you from Mr. Pete Blau?
My dad has definitely been my inspiration in water polo. Before every game, after every game, like he's the face I look for on the side of the pool. It's always those little words of encouragement, especially with me but now being captain. He's always like this is what you have to tell your team, like you have to keep them encouraged. Obviously they're such a young team,
Yes.
so a big thing is like making sure you're always putting in 110% so they like feed off your energy. Our coach also strongly believes in how you warm up is how you play.
Yes.
So before the game is always the most important for me, making sure that my team is ready for the game, their mindset is set right.
Yes.
And then after the game, if things haven't gone our way or if I've actually had a good game, he's always the first person I go to. Little bit of a debrief after the game.
Yes.
I know that's my safe space and I know he's my person to talk to.
I love that. And it is important in all sport, right, guys, to have that safe space, sorry. And I hope that, and I've seen it with both your guys, coaches, both schools, great coaches. We've got Caleb Moorman there with you, who's just also played at national
Absolutely
level.
incredible.
And for you guys like with Ferdy Low and all those guys that are backing your program there, I hope that your environments are positive and growing, which sounds like it is. Good luck to you guys for the rest of the tournament. It sounds already like you've got so much going for you. Do you have any big tournaments coming up that you're really looking forward to?
So us not kind of being a tier 1 water polo school, we there's a tournament at Grey College,
Okay.
which is almost kind of a tier 2 tournament, which is our target tournament.
Yes, we'll be looking out for you guys there.
We'll be there.
Yes, and you?
So
Anything
we
big?
have Kingswood beginning of next year, which is
The Brian
always,
Baker, eh?
yeah, always
Yes.
such a nice tournament to get into the year. It's longer games, new teams. It's such a beautiful way to start the season. Super early on in the year, so we have to start preparing early for that.
Awesome. So, guys, a really big thank you from us, from Elevate Water Polo on 216, for joining us today. Good luck to you guys for your tournaments coming up and from next year. And I look forward to seeing all 3 of you and your schools in these massive tournaments. We are heading to a break and we'll be back more with a hell of a lot more water polo from Elevate on 216.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to the Elevate Water Polo Show, brought to you by SuperSport, powered by Momentum and Odin. Continuing our player segment today, we've got 4 players here, 2 from St. Benedict's, 2 from Kingswood here. We've got Dylan on my right with Lucy, Ethan on my left, and Megan as well. They are currently playing at the St. Stithians water polo competition here. They're literally fresh out the water. The Kingswood girls just played now. Tell us, girls, how did the game go?
It was quite a struggle. We went in there quite confident, but then as soon as they started putting like 5 goals on us, we all dropped our heads, and then they took it away from us.
We took advantage of that. So I feel like if we came in with a better attitude and just never gave up in the 2 other quarters, it could have been a different game. Yeah.
It's always tricky with the St. Stithians water polo tournament. You've had your matrics, now they're gone, and now it's like the older people in the team. You really had to step up. Tell us, like, how hard is it to play without your matrics and having to make that step up?
Well, we only really lost 2 matrics, so we have been playing with the same team for the past year. So we were kind of also, we had to step up last year as well because we only had 2 matrics. So we've been seniors for 2 years, so we're kind of used to it now. So it's not that much of a change, but it is quite hard being, like Megan being captain and myself being vice captain, having the role of having to lead everyone as well as playing the sport. That makes it a little tricky at times.
I mean, you only have 3 juniors, so it is a bit easier because you can teach 3 more than like 6. So yeah, we've played 3 tournaments as a team already, so this one will be our 3rd.
Okay, so you guys are quite experienced. Jeez. Okay.
Yes.
Never mind. No nerves needed here. Ice in the veins. We love to see it. Let's hear from the boys from St. Benedict's. Ethan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very good.
Good. Dylan, how about you?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, tell us, how's the tournament been for you guys? You know, it's been really great to see St. Benedict's Polo on the rise again. I know you guys have excellent facilities, really nice indoor pool. Tell us about how your competition has been going so far.
Yeah, no, it's been a very good tournament. I think we've done a lot better than expected. We started off a bit rocky playing Jeppy and Sax, but I think we've really picked ourselves up since then. We got a good result this morning and yesterday, and yeah, we're really looking to get a good result this afternoon against St. Andrews College.
Yeah. Ethan, what about you? Tell us about your competition, your experience.
I think the tournament's been very good. We came into the tournament hoping to do pretty well because our matrics don't go to Sax or Clifton or any of those tournaments, so we've been playing together for the past 3 months. So we were hoping to do quite well in this tournament, and I think coming into it, a lot of the boys were a bit nervous, but I think, as Dylan said, we've picked ourselves up. So.
Okay, so let me know, who are you playing again this afternoon?
St. Andrews College.
St. Andrews College. So it's going to be a great game, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in Johannesburg, please come and watch. We are here at St. Stithians. I'd love to hear more about the St. Benedict's program. Tell me about the water polo, the structure, the training sessions. Like, walk us through a week in the St. Benny's boys' shoes.
So at St. Benedict's, all water polo players are forced to do swimming. It's compulsory. And so on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have early morning. And then we have Monday and Thursday. It's called Integrated Day. That's basically just sport during school. And then we'll train on a Tuesday night against the Edenvale Men's Water Polo Club. And then we'll add in the occasional like Friday afternoon session. Sometimes we train on a Tuesday afternoon or extend the integrated day sessions into the afternoon. So we do try to swim as much as we can as we are a swimming school.
It's great that you guys have that program. And I mean, and you can see it as well. You guys are so strong on your press. You guys are working really well as a unit. It's been really impressive watching the evolution of St. Benny's water polo.
Yeah, 100%. I think you learn a lot more as you play, and especially playing against experienced players, you really do learn a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. For those of you who don't know, Ethan here is the son of the famous Mike Beatty. He is a world-class referee. Tell us, Ethan, what is it like, learning from your dad? You know, he's obviously been studying the game forever. How has that helped in like your developments in your game?
Well, I trained with my dad since I was like 3 years old, going to Old Eds with him as he was training. And after all my games, my dad's always talking to me, always coaching me from the sidelines. And I think it helps quite a lot, especially when I get frustrated with coaches or things don't go my way. My dad's always there to help me. And I think, my dad's, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see just the intelligence in your play. It's really nice to see you using the new rules to your advantage, so keep it up. Let's go back to the ladies here. I'd love to hear more about a day in the life, or not even a day in the life, a week in the life of a Kingswood water polo player. Tell us about your training sessions, your structures.
So on a Monday and a Thursday, we have training for 2 hours. It's just normal like water polo training to get our structure and focus on what we want to achieve in a game. And then on a Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, we have early morning swimming as well. And then on a Friday, we usually leave for tournaments if we are going, or we have games on the weekend on a Friday and a Saturday. So we don't really do much there other than the games.
Yeah, and it's nice to play games most weekends because so you have a practice to get to for the tournaments that be coming up.
Yeah, okay. So obviously, you guys limited competition out there in Makanda. Tell us, how do you guys remain so competitive when you come to these games? Because obviously Kingswood, such a small school, playing the neighbors down the road in DSG. Tell us, how do you guys remain so competitive with the numbers that you have? It's really impressive to see you coming to these competitions. Obviously you just lost out on the quarterfinal, but the fact that you made it into that quarterfinal alone with the limited number of players that you have, tell us what makes Kingswood so competitive in that space.
I think because, like you said, we don't have a lot of players or kids at Kingswood, so I think that fight to show that we are better, that we can actually do something with the amount of people we have. It's always nice coming as an underdog compared to other people. So coming up against Herschel Saints, it's nice to be the underdog because they don't know what to expect. They expect us to play easy, not that good polo. So I think that if we come with a big fight, they would get a bit of a fright. So, so it's nice to have.
I also think there are a lot of strong personalities in our team, and everybody is driven in the sense that they want to win. They want to do the best that they can do. And almost every person in our team plays at least 2 first-team sports, except for the new ones coming up. But everyone's just driven. Everyone has the attitude that they want to win. No one likes losing in our team. And especially with Mr. Kum, he always tells us that it's not about the result, it's about how you play the game. So if you lose with good attitude, if you lose knowing that you've played the best you can, to us that's a win as well. So it's always just about giving your best.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Love that answer. It's so true. So important, even when the chips are down, you've got to always be constantly putting in your best effort because at the end of the day, you want to finish strong, you want to end on a positive note, and you don't want that lull from that game that you just played. I'm going to stick with you here, Lucy. You just recently returned from the Next Generation Cups. How was that experience for you?
Well, I learned a lot in Spain that I haven't learned here. And it's been really nice, your stretching and your warm-up and activation that you gave us. I've taught it to the team. So before every game, we do it to make sure that we're awake. And with all the different man-ups and the different attacks and the different defenses, I took notes in Spain, so I shared it with Mr. Kum. And we've been working on those as well, which has been helping a lot. And it's just so nice to know that, to realize that what I experienced there, I can bring it back to South Africa and that we can learn something from that. And it just doesn't have to be something that goes on in Spain. We're able to accomplish what is accomplished there over here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's really great about that as well is obviously the only one going on these tours, but you sharing all this knowledge with your players. So it almost feels like they're there with you. They're understanding how to do the movements. And at the end of the day, that's how you show up as like a leader and as like a vice captain. You want to lead, show the kids, like, you know, the younger ones especially, how to play the game a little bit better, a little bit smarter. I'm going to go over here to Ethan, who also went to Spain in June, participated in the Pipa Summer Cup. Ethan, how was your experience, and what did you take out of that experience and brought it back to South Africa?
My experience was amazing. I think I learned a lot in Spain, and I think it really did bring my confidence up. I think playing in Spain, playing with all the amazing players that we did, playing against all the amazing players that we did, I think it really did bring my confidence up. Learning from all the amazing coaches in Spain at Pupa, I think it really did help my game, and I hope it's showing in the water. So.
Yeah, absolutely, Ethan. You know, I haven't had the privilege of watching you before. I saw you in Spain, of course, but it's been awesome to see you like come out of your shell and playing such positive and such exciting polo. It's been really great to see you step up, and you know, not even like a youngster, but I believe your team is quite young.
Yeah, our team is quite young. We have, I think, 4 or 5 grade 9s in our team. Last year we lost, I think, 12 or 9 matrics. We only had 3 first-team players remaining in our team, so everyone else is juniors. So we've had to grow as a team, learn as a team. But I think with the coaches that we have, we've done a good job.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. You guys have been awesome to watch, and so excited to see the future of St. Benedict's come to the fray. I'm just going to end off this segment by asking the 2 people here at the end, Megan and Dylan, tell us what got you into water polo and what motivates you to play water polo.
So I've got an older sister. She's 3 years older than me. And yeah, since I was small, I always used to watch her playing. She used to actually play here. And so, yeah, since then, I've always sat on the side of the pool and really wanted to play. And then there used to be a club at Benny's called Dynamo, which was started by my old coach, and I got into that. And ever since then, I've just kept on playing. And yeah, I think it's just a really like a big motivation that, my hockey coach actually told me that the grade 8s and the younger boys are always looking up to you. And so it's like really inspiring to know that in order to keep going and to keep pushing, I have to keep on remembering that there's people that look up to me, and I'm a role model to some people. And so you can't give up, and you have to keep playing.
Absolutely. Megan, as a captain, tell us, like, what inspires you?
I started polo grade 3 or grade 4 because it was like a thing that everyone did at Kingswood, you know, you just start. And I just loved it from then. It was just something that I wanted to do. I wanted to achieve more. I wanted to be better. I wanted to be where I was here now. Captaining the Kingswood side last stairs this year. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, excellent stuff, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure having all of you attend. Thank you so much for coming. I wish you all the best in the rest of the competition ahead. I can't wait to see the rest of your playoff games and see where you guys end up. But the attitude and the effort that you guys have put into this, I'm sure it'll come and shine through in the pool. So thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we'll be back after the break.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to Elevate Water Polo on 216, brought to you by SuperSport Schools and sponsored by Odin and Momentum. Really thrilled to have a good friend of mine and a great coach, Jabulani Sabia, in studio with us, fresh off his win at St. Stithians Invitational. Jubs?
It's a pleasure to be here.
Amazing. We're keen to talk about your most recent win, but I thought really important to acknowledge where you come from and the heritage, right? So tell us your journey from Parktown Boys all the way to now when you're head coach of Bishops and UCT.
Yeah, so I went to a school called Parktown Boys in Johannesburg. I'm really proud to be an all boy at that school. It's really, I think, like many all boys that go to boys' schools, they give credit to the places that have made them. So I learned how to play the game when I was 14. If you think about it in context now in the modern day era of water polo, it's quite a late start because we're seeing a lot of athletes start the sport at a very young age. We call it splash polo, which is normally around that under 10 to under 12 age group. But I learned how to play water polo. I was taught by the legendary, dangerous Dave Hansen, the deputy headmaster now, Andrew van Zyl. My first team coach when we had a very successful season was Jeff Bickford. And it was a very special time in my life because I was a swimmer, but I'd never seen the sport before. And I think I got tired of seeing the black line going up and down the pool. And I was quite interested in a sport that had a team dynamic. Water polo at Parktown was my first start. It's where I played provincially for Gauteng. It's where we were really fortunate to have a successful season in 2010, where we were the best water polo side in the country, winning Cares, winning Saints, the tournament I just came back from now, and a lot of other tournaments around the country. So Parktown is a very special place. It's a wonderful school, and it's a school that really put me on the map when it comes to water polo.
Amazing. So, yeah, big shout out to Parktown Boys in Johannesburg for all the legends that you've created in your water polo program. I want to quickly go to last week, Cape Town Invitational. We had some of the players on the show earlier. A massive campaign, UCT, a young team, really, with guys all the way down to grade 11 playing in that team. How does it feel to have put such a good campaign together for the Cape Town Invitational?
Thanks for that question. It's a really hard question to answer when the team that I went down to is Duncan's team. We got a very humbling final experience, but you're right. It was a special campaign for us. The program has really taken me quite a number of years to switch around. I think it's about 3 or 4 years to really benefit the fruits of our labor over those 3 or 4 years with regards to recruitment, with regards to the current players we have on our side now. So, it was a wonderful showing for us, especially after losing our captain of the side before. We managed to come through and challenge sides like, OJ Eagles, who I know you and myself, Duncan, we really look up to a guy like Vladimir Trinik, and that team that is OJ Eagles, having dominated for a number of years on the national program. So it was an amazing one for us. That semi-final will probably be one of the best memories for me from a coaching front ever. And then the biggest learning probably came from playing your side, the Rondebosch Meerkats. But again, a wonderful experience to have time in the final and seeing young players at the age of, like you said, 17, 18, 19 years old challenge senior men's players. So a really special time for UCT Water Polo.
Amazing and well done. Absolutely great campaign. And then hot off the press, an incredible win at St. Stithians Invitational. But for me, it's the consistency that you've built at Bishops that has earned you that number 1 spot in the country in the rankings that we spoke about a bit earlier. So, tell us, how does it feel? Obviously, a great individual achievement, but I really want to talk about the consistency that you guys have built up.
Thanks. So I must say it takes a village. It really does take a village to get the program where it is. So I don't run that program by myself. My right-hand man is definitely Loazi Madi. He's the director of coaching at Bishops. And he's really been the glue at making sure that we're getting the feeders coming through from the prep right through to the high school. And he is the assistant coach of the side. And Angus Firth, who is our manager and has been sort of running water polo at Bishops for a number of years, probably longer than I've been involved in the sport. And he's also, both of them are really good friends of mine. And lastly, Sam Hansen, I think he was here earlier, is the captain of UCT Water Polo, and he's also the assistant coach at Bishops. And I think part of that has been really linking UCT as a water polo club with Bishops as a school. And I think we've managed to get some consistencies of coaches that I coach at UCT that are now, coaching the younger age groups at Bishops, which is really giving one unified voice in terms of how we play. It's very similar. It doesn't change across. And yeah, and where we sit now is just with the support of a great coaching staff. The Parents Water Polo Committee has been absolutely amazing with regards to fundraising and building our new pool in collaboration with Bishops as a college. And also with the help with a lot of the UCT students who have given back in coaching the Bishop side.
Amazing. And you mentioned the new pool. That must be exciting. When is that looking to get active?
That's getting active in December this year, we hope. Obviously, things like weather we don't control, so we're really hoping for a December start with our new pool. And it's also great because I remember when I was playing IPT and when we came here in grade 8, I played at Bishops actually as a pool. So to see that pool getting transformed whilst coaching there is actually quite a full circle moment, which is cool.
Amazing, exciting things. And lastly, as a tournament, the St. Stithians Invitational, tell us about how did that feel?
Yeah, so firstly, as a tournament, St. Stithian Stays is run professionally. I think Megan Celino, Jason Celino, Michael Stewart as the first team coach, they've really built this wonderful tournament. It's the first tournament I've ever seen locally that has an athletes village. Like the only time I really got to see that was when we went overseas to play for the country or coach for the country. So I walked in there and I saw this athletes village with massage chairs, table tennis, food, refreshments. They've really made this tournament a lot more professional, and they've made these kids really feel like they are professional athletes. And yeah, the weather played along, which was quite great. We had a slight weather delay around the final, but it's nothing like the years before where you can get delayed for a number of hours, laddering up until the evening. So it's one of my favorite tournaments to go to. I've played in it, I've coached in it, and it's just getting better each year.
Amazing. Big shout out to the organisers there, the Celinos and the whole St. Stithians College, and I know the Parents Committee as well are doing a lot of hard work. And we joined hands as Elevate, we joined hands with St. Stithians, and we put together the Inspired Player Award. And for every single game for the Junior Invitational, and I've got the results of the eventual winners from all the games. There was an MVP or an inspired player chosen for each game. So congratulations to Josh Nosworthy from St. John's Prep and Hlelo Ntusi from Redham House Umhlanga. They are the lucky winners for the Saints Invitational, Junior Invitational, where they're winning a 5,000 Rand hamper from Elevate Water Polo, which will contain a hamper of great clothing as well as a free entry to the Bupa and Elevate Water Polo Camp in January of next year. So congratulations to those two winners. Jabs, IPT around the corner, 7 weeks to go. Can you tell us about your role as kind of head coach for the boys program?
Yeah, really excited for IPT. It's the biggest school water polo tournament, actually the biggest water polo tournament in the world, if I'm not mistaken, for schools. So we're really excited about that. My role as the head coach for the boys section is really just to make sure we've got consistency around our sort of DNA as Western Province schools water polo. It's just to provide an extra support for all the head coaches across the age group. So we're really excited about it. I think at this time in the year when all the sort of local schools tournament come to an end, everyone sort of shifts focus to IPT at the end of the year. So it's one we're really looking excited to go and to take part in. And I'm also really excited to see, I think we've selected some quality coaches. I'm going to speak for the boys section. And we've got the likes of Devon Card, the likes of Vaughan Marlowe, Etienne Leroux, Quacks. I think these are individuals who have really been at the forefront of water polo in our province. So I'm really excited to see those coaches and players implement their game plan at the end of the year.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to the Western Province contingent, and looking forward to seeing the fruits of that labour. We spoke offline to a very interesting South African water polo player and now coach, Simon Daly, who's going to be bringing the Aussie Crocs team for the second year. So looking forward to showing you my brief discussion with Simon Daly, bringing the Aussie Crocs to IPT.
The Aussie Crocs are coming in 6 weeks' time, I think it is, to sunny South Africa. We cannot wait to play in the biggest schools water polo tournament in the world. We were blown away by the hospitality last year that South African schools presented to us and our support staff and the families and so forth. And it was an easy sell this year. We've got a majority of the squad coming back and then some new faces as well. And hopefully that then leads into the third phase of our tour, which would be next year, but coming to the 50th year of the South African Schools Water Polo Tournament is super exciting. We arrive on the 1st of December, and we're going to be hosted by KwaZulu-Natal down in Durban, and hopefully they can be as good as what Western Province were in hosting us last year in our pre-tournament training camp. The parents had a blast, and Western Province were just incredible hosts to us, showing us the sights and sounds of Cape Town. And this year we can't wait to see the sights and sounds of KwaZulu-Natal. We're going to do a training camp at Redham House in Umhlanga with KwaZulu-Natal, as I said. And then from there, we're going to head up to Johannesburg, to the Highveld, and play in, like I said, one of the biggest schools events in the world, the South African Schools 50th year. Thanks to Richard and his support staff and crew around. We thank, obviously, South African Schools Water Polo for giving us the opportunity to come over and play in the tournament. And this year we want to win the Ubuntu Shield. We lost it last year. I think Gauteng beat us and won it in the end. But this year we've got some hungry players wanting to come back and get their hands on that Ubuntu Shield. Not only in the pool, but we're looking forward to the sights and sounds around, not only in KwaZulu-Natal. We're going to do a few sightseeing things at the Marine Park and save us some bunny chow. And in Joburg, we're going to go to Gold Reef City and Soweto tour, and obviously savor the tastes of Africa whilst we're there. So we can't wait to obviously meet everybody. And that's the vision of our tour, not only to play some top quality water polo, but to make friendships along the way, friendships in the pool, out of the pool. And the parents are, we've got a nice conglomerate of parents, which is probably a touring party of 13 parents as well, ready to savor everything that South Africa has to offer. Once we finish the tournament, we're going to then head up to the Pilanesberg and do the Game Reserve tour, and obviously see everything that Africa has to offer. So we're super excited. We cannot wait to get to South Africa and enjoy everything that the 50th edition of the South African Schools Water Polo Tournament has to offer for the Aussie Crocs 2025.
And then looking back, Lwazi Madi, your partner in crime at Bishops and our anchor co-host on the show, every week he chooses the Odin School of the Week. And I'm very pleased to, on his behalf, congratulate Our Lady of Fatima from Durban for being the Odin School of the Week. And then Delane, as is per tradition, Delane Mentor, she chooses the Momentum Moment of the Week, which is going to go to Adam Brown from Redham House, Constantia.
It's time for the Momentum Moment of the Week. And a big thank you and shout out to Momentum for always supporting us. This week, my Momentum Moment goes to Adam Brown and the Redham Constantia team. I am so proud of these Oaks, watching them play all weekend, fighting tooth and nail, displaying some great water polo, but the actual momentum moment is 100% for Adam Brown. And the highlight for me is the Redham Constantia versus Woodridge College game. That game ended 9-8 to Redham Constantia, but Adam Brown scored 8 of the 9 goals. When I'm telling you, this boy is a powerhouse attacker, as humble as can be, but so good at reading the game, reading the goalkeeper, reading the shot, and reading the defense. He's proved it game after game that he is the guy to look out for. Number 11, Redham Constantia. Well done to you guys, well done to Adam, and well done to Nick Tinkler, the coach of the team. Good luck for the remainder of the tournament. They are in the quarterfinal of the Saints tournament, the first time since 2018, and Adam did well to get his team there. So well done, guys, and I look forward to seeing how the rest of the tournament goes for you, Adam.
And then, as we've done for the last 2 episodes, we are really excited to invite all of you to send us in your best clips, send us your best goal, which you can clip from the SuperSport Schools app. Send us your best defensive play, either if you're a goalkeeper, a save, or if you're a defender, a great block, or something that really helped your team in a crucial moment. So we're going to ask you again this week, please clip your clips from the SuperSport Schools app from the recent tournaments and send us your submission for best goal or best defensive play. Jubs, I've got the results from last week, and I'm sure you can validate this one. So in the semi-final of the Cape Town Invitational, Matthew Fenn, who's one of your players at Bishops, scored the most amazing tornado goal, which very dutifully and rightly so wins the goal of the week. And the best defensive play was from Our Lady of Fatima under 14s in a game against St. Anne's. Rebecca Grendel, congratulations. You are winner for the defensive play of the week. Very lastly, we're going to look forward to what's coming in the next weeks. And as Jubs mentioned, this time of year, schools are shifting their focus to exam writing, but water polo stays alive and well, and we've got the big build-up to IPT. So we had an offline conversation with Andrew Shedlock down in KZN. Andrew's been doing great work starting up the Oldies Water Polo Club at DHS School, using DHS School as their base, and he is organising an under-11 tournament. You mentioned earlier about the importance of starting early. So credit to Andrew Shedlock and his team running the under-11 tournament, which is coming up this week. Jubs, a final word. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations and well done for all that you do for water polo. And I wish you all the best in your endeavours going forward. Thanks for joining us on the Elevate Water Polo Show.
Thank you for having me, Duncan. And please continue this. It's so great to see water polo being aired week in and week out, and actually have something to look at to see who's sort of coming up and who's doing well around the country. So shout out to you and your team.
I appreciate that. Thanks, folks. That's episode 5. Looking forward to seeing you again next week.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.